Alright, hello everyone. I want to start this video with sending my heart and my prayers to all the people in Boston and the people that were affected by this act of terrorism. I personally have an immediate family. My sister and my nieces and nephew are in Boston. My sister works right there on that path where the marathon was run at the end, and luckily she didn't go to work that day. But it really makes me very upset when things like this happen, especially me being a sports fan. It happened in sporting events, because that is one of the main ways that we as Americans convene. We come together at sporting events, we have a good time. All those guys yesterday, they were, I mean, I did a 5K run and I almost died. You know what I'm saying? So the guys that are actually working on that marathon, that have worked on a marathon, I mean, that's some intense training, and for them to overcome and do it, you know, the family comes and supports them and stuff like that. It's a really big personal achievement and a really big deal. And for something this horrible to happen when people were experiencing that, it just really gets under my skin. It really does. So I hope, you know, the law enforcement, the government, the FBI, everybody gets to the bottom of this and clean this up quickly. Don't go bombing another country, please, and cause more deaths. Just take care of the people who did this, and let's move on, you know, strong and steadfastly. All right, next we've got my draft board. This Monday on the live show, we went through the offense. We didn't have time to go through the defense. We went through the offense, saying, you know, what we were looking for in the draft, and we pinpointed certain players that might fit our team the best. But before we did that, I had to go through our players lost, because this is key before we go into the draft, because we've lost a lot of players, ladies and gentlemen. We've lost a lot of players, and just because some of these players are players that you got mad at and you didn't like and they sucked and all this kind of stuff, these players have to be replaced with a player that is just as good, if not better than them. That's the issue. So we can't go into the draft thinking, oh man, we get an offensive guard and we get a safety and we get a defensive lineman, then we're straight. You know, we can't think that, because we've lost a lot of depth in certain positions. We've lost a few starters in certain positions. So it's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to have to fix in this draft. And mind you, the draft can't fix everything. We've had 3 very good drafts in the last 3 years. There's only 6 starters on this football team from those 3 drafts. So it's not an instant fix. When we drafted Tyron, we thought Tyron was going to be an instant, you know, staple for our offensive line that's going to, you know, be the man. And he's just now turning a corner to try to start to be the man. So this draft is not going to fix everything immediately, but we have to do what we can to fix the holes that have been created with our football team over the last few months. Now here we go. Gerald Sensabaugh. A lot of you don't like Gerald Sensabaugh. I'm lukewarm with Gerald Sensabaugh. I didn't go come back blaming him for every loss and whatever, but he never made turnovers. He had some big hits. He played very hard, and he was a smart player. So we've got to find someone. Will Allen, I don't think Will Allen is of Gerald Sensabaugh's ilk. I think he's a little bit less. Gerald Sensabaugh was a starter, not a good starter, but was a starter. We've got to find someone to replace Gerald Sensabaugh. Can it be Barrett Church? I don't know. Can it be Matt Johnson? I don't know. We don't know about those 2 players. We'll get into that later. But that is one position that we're going to have to go after in the draft tremendously. Felix Jones is another one. A lot of you didn't like him. Me, I fell out of love for Felix when he came into training camp, when he wasn't in shape. That really makes me mad, especially when you're a running back and you have a small window of success and you come into camp and you're not in shape. It really makes me mad. So we've got to replace Felix. Even though what Felix was, he was an extreme talent. And we've got to replace him with a running back who's just as good, if not better. Josh Brent, we know what happened to him. Sad situation. We were working on making him a quality player for us. It's not going to happen at this point. Victor Butler is a huge loss in my opinion. He was instant pressure when we put him out on the field, when Ware got hurt, or when Spencer couldn't be there or whatever. He was instant pressure, you know, from the bench. So we're going to miss him in that regard, because we have no one that's going to be able to fill in for Ware or fill in for Spencer and get the type of pressure that Victor Butler could bring. Kenya Coleman, I don't think Kenya Coleman's going to be a good, a huge loss. We could have used him at defensive tackle, but I think he's more of a natural 3-4 defensive end, and he'll do better out there with the Saints. Dan Connor is slow, but Dan Connor's a good football player. So you had those things going on with Dan Connor. He didn't impress me that much, because he couldn't cover certain things, and he couldn't, a lot of liabilities when it came to athletic ability. So we got the complete opposite of him getting Justin Durant. Durant is a complete athletic beast. However, I don't think he's the tackler. I don't think he's the football player that Dan Connor is. I know a lot of people said you're going to say Durant got a whole bunch of tackles last year, but behind the extremely not tackling Cliff Averill, he should have had a lot more tackle. They said he should have put up basically Pro Bowl type numbers in that position with the Detroit Lions last year. And I'm not too keen on getting Detroit Lion linebackers and calling themselves great. I've told you that before. Mike Jenkins. Mike Jenkins is another guy that I personally like. The Dallas Cowboy fans beat the living crap out of Mike Jenkins when he wasn't physical enough, or when he got beat every once in a while or whatever. You just was relentless on this guy, and then he tried to prove himself by being more physical and got himself all banged up, and he's just now coming back from that. So Mike Jenkins was he's a good cornerback, people. He's not a bad corner at all. He's just been in bad situations. He's had a bad front line as far as getting pressure on the quarterback and things of that sort. So I'm hoping for the best with Mike Jenkins, but he's going to be a tremendous person to have to replace in our secondary. Remember, I said that. Kevin Ogletree, we thought Ogletree was going to be all world after the Giant game, and then we're not going to make. If you can't make it in Dallas with Tony Romo throwing you the ball, I'm sorry, you're not going to make it. So next is John Phillips. John Phillips, I'm going to miss, but he is completely behind Hannah now, so we can fill his spot with a rookie free agent. No problem. I miss him though. I like that guy. And last, Marcus Spears. We really could have used Marcus Spears at defensive tackle, but kind of like Kenya Coleman, he's a natural 3-4 defensive end and will be better in Baltimore. Players in question, we have Doug Free. Something has to be done with Doug Free, and it has to involve the word cut. Alright? Either you're going to need to hear Doug Free was cut, or you need to hear Doug Free took a pay cut. But one of those two has to happen before he puts this star back on his head. It has to happen. If it doesn't happen, man, you're talking about going ballistic. If he makes the amount of money he's supposed to make coming into this season, your boy. Lawrence Vickers, another guy that's making a pretty good penny for a fullback. So we don't know if we're going to bring him back for that price or whatnot. But the thing is, for you that don't think we need a fullback, remember before Vickers, when we were filling fullbacks with a rookie free agent or whoever was available, getting someone off the street, and they got Romo killed. So I don't know if that's worth it to cut a couple. I think it's only 1.2 mil to cut 1.2 mil here and put in anybody out there that could get our quarterback killed like he was before. So that's an interesting thing to look at. And then lastly, the players with injury issues that we don't like to talk about. People get mad when you bring it up, but it's the truth. These are players that get hurt a lot. Number one, Miles Austin. Miles, we don't know what's going to happen with him. He's got the recurrent injuries, and I'm sorry, I can't take another year of watching Miles on the sidelines, jumping up and down, getting ready to go in, and never go in and produce anything. It's time for him to get all healed up and be the guy who's making all that money for us. Next, Bruce Carter. My God, was he amazing. My God, was he amazing. But is he made of paper mache? That's the question that we have to ask. He's a beast. He's a monster. He could be possibly one of the better linebackers in the league if he continues to play. But will he always go off the field with something broken or something messed up? We don't know. Barry Church is another one. I went to training camp last year. I said this in my show on Monday. I went to training camp. Wanted to see a lot of Barry Church because I hear the organization talking him up. But the organization talked up. What was his name? 6'5", Andre, I can't remember. You know what I'm talking about, the wide receiver. Said he was the next Calvin just because he was 6'5". I don't trust the stuff that comes out of the organization because they like to pump things up for no reason whatsoever. DallasCowboys.com, every player that comes through, they pump them up for some reason. I need to see it. I need to see Barry Church. I really do. Okay? And him coming back from a pretty devastating injury is going to be tough. So I don't know about Barry Church. I know I'm going to get comments, Barry Church is a stud. You don't know it because he's only played a couple live NFL football games. So we don't know what Barry Church is just now. So I'm hoping that he's going to be the real deal and he can come back from a pretty bad injury also and do something very nice for us out there. Matt Johnson, same thing. We don't know what Matt Johnson is. He's never got out there. He wasn't even out there during training camp. So we've got to watch him to see what he can do. Sean Lee, my favorite player in Valley Ranch, by far, hands down. This is my #1 guy. But still, he gets injured, and I hate that because he is such a smart and such a great leader on that side of football. DeMarco Murray, another one. He needs to play a full season. He's a running back. I mean, he's in. I've already explained about the short window that the running back has. He's in his window, and he needs to produce while he's in this window. Because if he doesn't, there's going to be another young buck who comes in and take him out quickly. So DeMarco Murray, it's time for you to try to stay healthy, do the things you can do in the offseason. I know he's a workout warrior. I don't know what he can do, but maybe it's a mental thing. But he needs to stay out there on the football field and give us 16 games. Jay Ratliff, in my opinion, Jay Ratliff is done. I mean, you look at his stats; it's went down tremendously over the last couple of years. If you put him out there, you'll see him do great things on the spot duty here and there. But to be a consistent force throughout the game, he's no longer that. And I blame the organization because I told you a long time ago to get him off of those big boy spots because he's not a big boy. And if you have a little boy on the big boy spots, the big boys will push the little boy around, and there's physics involved. I don't care how much of a fighter you are. There's physics involved, and when you're a smaller guy and getting pushed by bigger guys over and over and over, your body's going to give in. I don't know why people don't know this. Bill Parcells came to Dallas telling people that you need big guys to take on big guys. You don't put a small guy on a big guy and expect the small guy to win late in the season and in the fourth quarter. It's stupid. All right, and the last one's DeMarcus Ware. We saw DeMarcus Ware versus the Redskins when he was hurt. I don't know what his shoulder had to do with him not being able to tackle the RG3, but he just did not look like he was there. So we got all those issues going in the draft. So let's go in there quickly and get our players. All right. First of all, quarterbacks. I'm not going to look through quarterbacks. I'm not going to say anything about any quarterbacks. The quarterbacks we have in Dallas: Tony Romo, and we have Cal Orton. Those are our quarterbacks. Why? Because Romo's locked up in what, 6 years of probably 3 to 4 years guaranteed or whatever. So there will be no Johnny Football. There will be none of these other quarterbacks coming in Dallas. Tony Romo is your guy, and Orton just re-upped his contract also, so he's going to be here for at least 2 years. There's not going to be anything to do with him because you cut Orton, you're going to have to pay out a lot of money. I think he's making like $4 million also. So those are going to be our 2 quarterbacks. Can't get a third because if you get a third, he's taking up a roster spot that we need to fill out another roster, the rest of the roster. If you get a third, he's not going to get any playing time because when Romo goes down, Orton's going to go in. We don't need a third. I mean, we can get a rookie free agent third, but that's it. That's it. We don't need that. All right, my guys. Mr. Bernard, Giovanni Bernard. I looked at him a lot yesterday, the day before yesterday, before I did the live show, and he seems like a Shady McCoy type player, and he seems like he's perfect for what we want to do with Jason Garrett. And basically, all the running backs I have on our top 10 list here are people that can take the ball and make some things happen. People that can catch the ball and make things happen. And then also, if you need them to do it, they will be able to come out of the backfield and give you a full performance at running back also. So at 1, I got Mr. Bernard. At 2, my favorite guy, Andre Ellington. If we get Andre Ellington, I'll be doing backflips in my room during the show, just back and forth. But I love this guy. He's kind of like Spiller, not as fast, but more of a pop, to his run when he finishes runs. Like he's got some really good hands. They use him, spread it out to catch passes also in Clemson. So I really like this guy. Christine Michael, a lot of you got these are names that came to me through you can tell it's got a Texas feel to it. These guys that have given me suggestions. Mike Gillisley, my boy in my Madden League, Haggy, is going to be happy I have him at 4. And number 5, Marcus Lattimore. Marcus Lattimore. If he can come back to himself, I'm already shocked, because I thought he was done in his life when I saw the injuries. He's from my arch nemesis in Burns, South Carolina. I'm from Gaffney, South Carolina, and we run that state. These two teams, Burns and Gaffney, are the best by far. If anybody else tells you anybody else is any good in South Carolina, they're lying. We own the state, and we've got a serious rivalry going on. This is the only guy from that school that just ate us alive. This guy is a pure stud. Then he goes to the SEC, and he becomes one of the best in the nation in the SEC, the real college football conference. So if he can get back to himself and we can get him, that would be awesome. I just don't think we can afford to waste a pick. I think he's going to go to a team that's already healthy at running back, has a quality running back there, and he can come in and sit for an entire year, let that knee get fully healthy, and then come back next year and be a force. But I've got my eye on where he lands. Then we have Jonathan Franklin from UCLA. Smart guy, hands, can make things happen, kind of steady. Not a burst player, but a player that can give you some solid play. Kerwin Williams from Utah State. We have Joseph Randall from Oklahoma State. We have Nile Davis, another guy from my Madden League. Loves Nile Davis because they're Arkansas people. And Jerry, Arkansas, whatever. And then we got DJ Harper from Boise. To round out the top 10. Next we have the wide receiver. Now the wide receiver, I only put 5 here on this list because we don't really need it. We think we might need it because of the Miles situation. We don't know where Miles is going to be moving forward after this year, so we might need to get a guy this year to be that other side. Will Dwayne Harris, we're going to be finding out this year if Dwayne Harris can be that on the other side of Dez, or does Dwayne Harris have to be in the slot? All I do know is Dwayne Harris is a stud. He's a stud. Trust me on that one. Let's go through the names. Terrence Williams from Baylor. I like that guy. I don't know why I like Ryan Swoop, but I like Ryan Swoop also. But here we get to the same type of running back, kind of wide receiver type person. The Marquise Goodwin, a guy that can take a short pass or can take a run or reverse or whatever and take it to the house. This guy can do that. Ace Sanders is a beast, y'all. From watching South Carolina, a lot this past years, and watching Clowney and all the freak talent they got in Lattimore, this guy was one of the guys that did some amazing things for the Gamecocks also. So this is a interesting person to look at, and also he can be able to return kicks and stuff like that. We can take Dwayne Harris and Dez Bryant off those duties. Then lastly, we have Marcus Davis from UVA. He's also size speed combination 6'3", 4'4" type guy. All right. Last, what you've been waiting on, the offensive line. These two right here, Chance Warmack, Jonathan Cooper. Not going to talk about them too much. All I'm going to say, if they drop down to our pick, the Cowboy Nation is doing backflips. But again, let me reiterate. If we draft Chance Warmack or we draft Jonathan Cooper, it doesn't mean we're instantly going to the Super Bowl. It doesn't mean we instantly have the best offensive line in the league. It doesn't mean anything, but we have a quality prospect at that position that we have to work on to get them in NFL shape. Okay? That's a huge misconception. Just because somebody is touted highly in the draft or whatever, you think as soon as we get them that they're going to be an instant success, a la Tyron Smith. Not the case. Tyron Smith has all the measurables, and right now it's starting to flourish. We might have to wait on one of these guys. However, they're not projected that we have to wait on them. They're projected like they can come in and do some things, so we can hope that happens. But these two are the best possible picks that we could make in this draft, period. Chance Warmack or Jonathan Cooper. Another guy I really like, Cal Long out of Oregon. Guy, I can't remember your name. The guy on the show was talking about Cal Long during the show, and the things, the height, everything I like about him. You possibly could move him out because he looks like he could be a versatile type offensive lineman also, which really would work well. Larry Warford from Kentucky, Kenlett Watson from Florida State. These guys that I'm pushing up now, David let me get that name right, because I love butcher names. David Bakhtiari from Colorado. Dallas Thomas, who in my Madden League, how many references to the Madden League I've made so far? But anybody that's named Dallas or anything like that, I try to go after. So I kind of want us to get that guy. But all these guys, Hugh Thornton, Oded Aboshi, and Teron Armstrong, all these guys, in which I think we need to get some people, because our thing right now is we need to protect Romo. We need to protect Romo. So the reason why DJ Fluker isn't on my list is because he can't pass protect it nearly as well as he run blocks. I know we need a running game, but a running game is about conviction, it's about attitude, it's about play calling. It's about a lot of other stuff. Offensive lineman is in that mix. But to be able to protect Tony Romo, that is an absolute must. And these guys are real good at pass protection, and we can work on their pass protection and get them, as soon as they come in, and they can be serviceable as a pass protector while we get the running game figured out. Because for some reason we don't understand what the running game is, and the running game isn't let's run the ball every few times and try to get some yards. The running game is pound, 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 pound. They're gasping for breath. Let's hit them some more. Oh wow, they can't even stand up anymore. Let's hit them some more. That's what a running game's about. So when you want to develop a running game, you build a team that can do that. We're not built for that. We're built to do this. And that's why you see Tony doing that all game long. And until we get to be a different type team and Tony becomes a bus driver or something like that, we need people that's going to fit into that type of offense. Throwing the ball. My arm is hurting. This is 50 passes. Let's throw the ball all around. Let's throw. That's how we make, ladies and gentlemen. Can't fix it in a year. Alright? Alright, everybody. I will finish this on the next Monday. On Monday coming up, we will do the defensive players, and I'll do another draft board with the defensive players that we're looking at in the draft. I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready for the new Cowboys. I'm ready to see what we look like moving forward. All right, holla at you. Peace.